Storani Careers. Tana is joining me this evening for this live conversation where we are going to be discussing changing industry, changing sector, and that can be applied for anyone who is stepping into an industry for the very first time, or someone who has taken a break from their career or their area of preference and they're trying to make the step back in. So I know this will apply to a lot of people, particularly expatriates like ourselves, who often, when we move to a new country or a new location, we really are almost starting again. So hopefully this conversation will be interesting and we will get through some questions that we've been sent by our clients. The lovely Tana is joining me this evening, who has her story to share and her insights. So Tana, what do you feel was the most challenging thing for you when you made the decision to move to Ireland and start all over again?
Well, for sure, it was the English. And also, so just saying like, hi guys, hello everybody, we are live in YouTube. So if you're here in Instagram, like joining us, just go to YouTube. We are live there and we will be answering questions there, okay? So all the questions, it's going to be posted there. And then I hope you enjoy very much our live. So yeah, so thank you, Shona, for, interviewing me, for being this amazing consultant at Storani Careers.
Thank you.
Love my team, Jeanette. So yeah, for me, well, it was actually the English for sure. English was big time, is a struggle. Also, how to apply my expertise and my skills to this new market, because like I come from Brazil and my expertise, like I had few really little experience in Brazil. I was studying most of the time, so I only had like a kind of a waitress experience in Brazil, like just a little, and I didn't know how to apply it. I didn't even know how to tell my story during interviews. Do you understand? Yes. So it was the English and definitely how to apply my expertise into this new market.
Yeah, I definitely think particularly where language is a challenge, it really adds an extra layer onto the candidate experience. I know myself, obviously I'm Irish and that's where I was educated, and my background, surprisingly enough, is tourism management, so something so different to what I'm doing today. And then I relocated to France, so I had the challenge of not only changing industry but changing language, and I think a lot of our clients, they face a similar challenge as well. My background is tourism management, like I said, but I had the opportunity in 2009 to step into recruitment and I absolutely loved it. I loved the candidate management aspect. I loved the training and development. I loved the interviewing processes. But sadly for me at that point, as everyone knows, 2009 was the financial crisis and it was not a good time to be working in recruitment. So I had to fall back onto my safety net and I went back into the loop of tourism management. However, I knew that something was missing. I knew that I wanted to go back, but it took me nearly 9 years to make the step back into recruitment and candidate management. And I was really terrified about, how do I convince recruiters that I can do this? How do I convince them? It's been so long. And obviously the big things that worked for me, I'm not sure about yourself, but I'd be interested to hear. But for me, it was really recognizing what those core skills were and how I was going to convince a recruiter that I could still do those things, that I was still strong at interviewing techniques. I was still strong within training and development. So identifying my skills and then obviously pursuing some sort of certification or course to refresh the skills to make them industry relevant to what the requirements were. What about yourself? What did you find was your challenge or your project for yourself?
Well, the challenge, as I said, it was very different because I had such a, completely different stages in my career.
Yeah.
So when I arrived in Ireland, for sure, it was for me the most difficult part, the most difficult time, because, as I said, I didn't have much English. So I was 100% focused on the secondary jobs, as people say, and, working as a waitress, as a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go back to Brazil, finished college because I had I only studied 4 years and a half, and then I stopped the course.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Ireland, spent 2 years working there and living in Ireland, and then go back I go back to Brazil, and then after 2 years studying, I got my bachelor degree in psychology. Then I go back to Ireland, and then was the moment where I had actually to show recruiters that I had that extra spike, like that extra something there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was worth a shot.
Yes, it's this, right? It's demonstrating, look, I am worth taking a risk. I'm worth taking a chance.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, so how do you do that? I have English now, and I have a bachelor degree. I have 2 years experience as a waitress and 6 months experience as a recruitment coordinator, like administrator in Brazil. Again, the challenge was there again, because this time I was interviewing for corporate.
Yes.
I had to do a CV for corporate jobs.
Which is so different.
And it was so different. So for me, it was more, like how to elaborate a good CV, how to actually show my motivation and show that I am good enough for unpaid job. That's crazy.
I know.
Like, it's unpaid, working for free, and I was so afraid to hear the word no. The rejection word.
We're all scared of it. We're all so scared of it. But don't you agree, though, that sometimes throughout our career history and our career map, we have to face rejection to learn? We've got sometimes to receive that no, to force ourselves to ask the question to the recruiter, why? Why no? Can you give me feedback? And I think a lot of candidates miss the opportunity to get good feedback because they're scared to ask why. Let's have a look. Exactly. Among so many good candidates, how can I convince them I am the right one? I just don't know how to talk about myself without being a show-off. So there is a difference between being a show-off and being proud of your accomplishments and being confident in your skill set. And it's how, yes, I agree, it's how it comes across. But I think as a nation, as a global nation, we can be a little bit nervous about how we present to others. But truthfully, if you speak respectfully, humbly, you demonstrate passion, then it's very difficult to come across as arrogant. You're not sitting down and saying that you're the best person, you're the best person to ever do this job. What you're saying is that you are potentially the best person for this particular job. And it does require a little bit of convincing, for sure, because we're selling ourselves.
But that's a very good point, and something that I want to add here, because Brazilians have this thing of, trying to not showing off during interviews, or trying to don't show us arrogant, because that's our culture. But you guys forget that the interview is the only moment where someone is being paid to hear how good you are.
Yeah, it's true. It's
the only moment, and it's the only moment in your life that you actually have to say all the good things about you, and forget about this. What if the recruiter thinks I'm showing off? No, actually, it's the moment to show off.
Yes,
but it's not how it's not what you say, it's how you say. Because you can say, do you understand? You can say the same thing, but in a different way, and don't sound arrogant and don't sound showing off.
Yeah, I totally agree. So much is in your body language, in your tone, in how you make eye contact with the person who's interviewing you, how you distribute your eye contact across the room if it's a panel interview. So yeah, I agree. It is your opportunity to really say, well, look, I am really good at this. And remember, if you are really good at something, if you're really skilled in sales, or you're an amazing engineer, you have earned the right to say that through your education, through your experience. So as Tana said, it's your opportunity to shine. Never in your life do you get to speak about yourself for an hour straight, ever. So enjoy the fact that you can.
Exactly. Also, other thing as well is always to remember to show motivation, and also, body language. The body language is really important when you are you don't have all the words in English, to explain
Yes.
what
Yeah.
you did in Brazil or in your home country. Sometimes, like your English isn't good and you forget the words, or your English isn't good enough to, or you're not practicing enough, what you've done, or your description, your experience in Brazil. And come on, you are being interviewed, and yes, you are nervous, and yes, sometimes like you're going to forget things because you're nervous and normal, like
Yeah.
you're stressed, you're under stress in this situation. So body language and the tone of voice during this moment of the interview, it's really important, because it's the way you're going to show your motivation. Sometimes hiring managers hire candidates not because they are perfect for the job in paper,
Yeah.
but because they see
The potential.
potential.
Yeah.
They see the person's there and it's going to give their 100% to learn, to progress, much more than the Irish that have already, like some sort of experience.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But
They
don't
want to
see
the
it as a
hunger.
challenge. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The excitement, the motivation. Like, even think about yourself. If you're having a conversation with someone and their shoulders are down and they're speaking like this and they're not looking you in the eye, it's really hard to stay engaged in that conversation. At some point, you're going to be like, oh, no, I've nothing to say to this person. We don't have a connection. So when you walk into the room, make sure that you're really like looking at that person, interacting with that person, being excited about being there. Interviewing can be a really enjoyable experience if we just forget about the pressure of it and understand that it is a mutually beneficial conversation. They have something to gain as the recruiter, and you have something to gain as the job seeker. So try to enjoy the interaction. And what advice would you have, Tana, I guess, for someone who is changing industry? What would be the first step that you would take if you were going to, or when you were making the step from one industry into another? Where did you begin that journey?
Okay, so I would say first research the industry. Definitely. For sure. Yeah, it's really important to research, see if if there is any certification or diploma or anything that could help you strengthen your brand, strengthen your experience. And because sometimes it's just a little thing, it's just that certification that could take 4 months to get it. There are so many good certs from the industry, Microsoft certifications, also this recognized bodies like PMI, Project Management Institute, ACCA for sure. Some of them are very hard to get, but some others are not, and it's easy, and it's going to strengthen your CV and your brand. But for me, in my opinion, the most important thing is when you research the market, talk to headhunters. Talk to other professionals that are doing what you want to work for, the position you want to work for, to understand the little nuances, the little things that you could add in your CV, that you could even prepare yourself during interviews. Then do your CV well done, a really well written CV. Focus on the market and on the job description. So that's what I missed when I started to search for my first internship in HR. I missed, adapting my CV. I was sending CVs and cover letters as it was it was like a simple template of a cover letter that I got in the internet. I was just changing the name, and that's it. I wasn't even adding the information they were looking for into my CV from the job description. So I missed a lot of opportunity by doing that.
Yeah, me too. I think that the not adapting the CV is one of the biggest pitfalls that clients fall into, and myself included. Similar to yourself, in the past, I would have used the tourism management CV to perhaps go forward and apply for roles in recruitment. And that's not going to work because it's not at all the same thing. One thing is dealing with sales, revenue figures, and the other is dealing with recruitment. And what I missed at the time, before obviously learning what I do now and understanding the nuances of client relationship management within the recruitment world, is that actually I had so many transferable skills. Every day I was taking part in training and development. I was interviewing my team members. I was forging client relationships. I was conducting market research. I was analyzing results. They're things that I do every single day as a career coach, but I had no idea how to demonstrate that I could do all of that from my ex or my old industry and bring it into my new. So I agree with you. I think becoming familiar with what is actually in demand for the market of your choice and asking yourself, but do I do this at all? Have I ever done this within my daily role?
Exactly. And then comes, like the important part that Chiengson, I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. He's saying, hi, hey, Tan and Shona, I'm a bachelor's production engineering, but I am afraid to apply for jobs. I've been trying to change it. And then comes the time, when you prepare yourself, research the market, you change your CV, you prepare, you change your CV, focus on the job description, focus on what the market is searching for.
Yes.
And then you have to
start getting and apply.
Yeah. And, stop being afraid of the no's.
Yeah, stop being afraid of the no's, because guys, we've all had them. Like, the world's most successful CEO has had the door slammed in his or her face several times. It's part of the process, but do ask for the feedbacks. And in the event that you are a graduate, so let's go back to perhaps stepping into a new industry that you've never worked in before. So graduates face this issue where they are coming fresh out of college. They have all this amazing academic knowledge. They have all the hunger and ambition, but they don't have the minimum of 2 years experience. Now, even we will say as ex-recruiters, the minimum years of experience is so unfair because it does not give all graduates the chance to put their foot on the ladder. So please, when you see this, don't get too stressed about it. This is the recruiter's wish list. Yes, Jason, you understand. It's the recruiter's wish list, but it's not exactly their expectation. So even if you don't have the minimum of 2 years, send your application. And remember, the 2 years of experience can also be academic exposure. So maybe, no, you did not have a job in that field, but for the last 4 years, you've been studying it. So yes, as a recruiter, this does count to be your exposures or your experience, but make sure you talk about your projects, talk about the modules or subjects that you covered. What organizations were you involved in? What extra academic, activities did you participate in? You need to stretch your information. Where it's lacking, you need to stretch and try to fill the gaps, which obviously is easier to say than to do. That's where we come in, because we understand how to play with the material and really bring out the best of what you have done and put it into structure that recruiters will digest and love.
And also, Shona will agree with me. We've been helping professionals, getting jobs, like leveraging their careers. How can I say, Shona? We've been helping international professionals, expats, in progressing their international careers, getting the first job in corporate world. For the past I've been doing that for the past 7 years.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 3.5. So
and it's 5 years with the company. And guys, we have already seen so many cases of people that got jobs in industries and areas that had
nothing
to do with their old experiences or nothing. Like I saw an engineering, like a manufacturing engineer, got a job as a financial analyst. I already saw a civil engineer getting a job as a what's the name? She was a civil engineer and she got a job as it's in the construction site,
Okay.
engineer. And I was like, holy wow. And she was like, I have no experience and I don't know how I got the job. They are training me and I'm there.
It's amazing. And we do see it. We're seeing it
It's
all the
amazing.
time.
Like also, like HRs,
Yes.
teachers,
Pharma people crossing
getting
over.
jobs in technical support level 1.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because like the company pays a low salary, and like IT guys don't work for less than like 35 40K per year. So then
yeah,
they get like kind of a professionals that want to step in IT, and they train them and off they
exactly.
go.
Yeah, and that's it. That's just like the little catapult in their career then into a field that they maybe never would have thought of before. I mean, a lot of our guys as well are coming from backgrounds where maybe they were educated in pharma or they were educated in engineering. However,
Yeah.
now they move to Dublin and they realize Dublin is the tech hub, and all of a sudden they want to get into content analysts and they want to get into customer support, and they're making these transitions into completely different industries. And it's all about understanding what your skills are and how you can possibly
Yes.
transfer them and bring them into another environment. Maybe some
Exactly.
personal projects or volunteering. Absolutely, you can count this. Absolutely.
Yes, Julia.
Absolutely. We need to stretch where you don't have the experience. Think about what you've done and stretch it. So for example, okay, this is a really rudimentary example, but it has worked for a past client of mine. They were educated in accountancy and finance. They'd never used the degree. It had been maybe 15 years. They had never used it, but they wanted to start using it. So they were like, Shauna, what can I do? How can I demonstrate that I actually have some sort of financial experience? And we started looking at her volunteer work. And she had been volunteering with Oxfam, but throughout her time in Oxfam, she had been in charge of collecting donations, having conversations with governmental bodies about tax. And I was
Amazing.
like, but you have been doing finance. You just don't consider it to be because it hasn't been in the corporate world. It's been in a voluntary capacity, but that is your experience. So stretch your information, guys. You'd be surprised how much you use your skills without you even realizing that you're using them.
And what I do in my graduate CVs, okay? But again, guys, this is my experience, my expertise of years writing CVs, and other CV writers might do different. We here in Storani Careers do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
We add projects, academic projects, into the career background. All right, because if you are trying to step into a new industry, all right, and you have no experience in this industry, let's say you come from finance, I've seen that, or customer service, or whatever other like industries, and you're trying to step into IT. Mm-hmm. You're doing like a IT course in CCT college, So what's how can you do? No, sorry. The best way to actually add information and help yourself to get that internship or get a junior position is adding an academic project there. Mm-hmm. So we put it, right?
Yeah, it definitely. If I find now, it's not always necessary for some of the clients, but the ones who were like, okay, we need to try and find something transferable, then yes. And academic projects, as Tana said, they do count because they are exposure. And very often, and it's something that you forget as a student because we have a tendency to undervalue ourselves when we're in an academic capacity, but that your knowledge is fresher than mine. It's been years since I've left college. I would say my academic knowledge is very rusty, whereas a fresh graduate is coming out with fresh knowledge, and that is invaluable. And many recruiters, particularly now with the American culture in these companies, is valuing this fresh idea, this sense that everyone is a contributor in the team. Even the youngest, most junior member can still bring really invaluable insights. So academic projects are a great way to demonstrate knowledge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Amazing. Yeah. Oops. We're hearing echo. No, I'm not hearing echo. Are you hearing echo?
No, I'm not hearing anything on this side.
Okay. Just to to ensure everything's okay. Cool. So next question.
So one of the questions was, how do we network? So if you are trying to break into a new industry and you're trying to make connections, what would be your advice in terms of utilizing LinkedIn as an example to expand your network and really make some sort of valuable connections?
Yeah, wow. When I arrived in Ireland, I had no idea how to do that. No idea. I'd never done, actually. When I arrived in Ireland, only on the second time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I arrived in Ireland in 2008, I met my first boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to work at HP.
Ah.
And yeah, I was a waitress, all
Mm-hmm.
right? And he used to work there, and Italian, and he was like, if you want, you can send me your CV and I can give to my manager. This was already network, and I had no idea.
Of course. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
do you know what I said? I said, of course not. I have no graduation. I haven't finished my college, and I'm just a waitress. Why am I going to do that with myself? Like, I was so afraid. I didn't see my value.
Yeah.
He was like, no, but they're looking for Portuguese speakers. You can work in the call center there. And I was like, he's not gonna interview me. And now I know that if I had given my CV, I would have the experience for sure.
Absolutely.
I would have got the job.
For sure, because we forget something, guys, and we have to remind this every time we have these conversations, because confidence is one of the biggest barriers to all of our clients, all of them. This lack of confidence. Guys, if you're working in hospitality, understand that it is probably one of the most challenging industries out there. You are dealing with customers, you are crisis managing, you are solving problems, you are team working, you are dealing with finance, you are dealing with sales and upselling. You can apply for roles, particularly bilingual clients. You can apply for customer service roles. Do not let it stop you or hold you back. Softwares you can learn, tools you can learn, but a good customer service expert is invaluable to any organization. So don't belittle just because you feel it's only a hospitality job. It's not.
Exactly.
So,
and now with the experience I have, and after years working as a recruiter, yes, the best way to network is through LinkedIn.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not saying it's the only way.
No,
you can network offline, okay, face to face, friend of a friend, all right. Events. I know we have online events now. For example, next month we will have the Dublin Tech Summit. Amazing! Amazing to network.
Yeah.
Because you will have all the best professionals talking about their expertise, their own area, different areas there. You can network, you can connect to them, you can start a conversation, and then perhaps
who knows where
someone, perhaps they can even send your CV to their hire manager or the manager or whoever, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
a
great way.
It
it's
is
a great way. Being there
and
as
also,
well sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it was just to say, even taking part in open days, a lot of companies now will do recruitment drives where it's like, okay, graduates or juniors, come in and see the office space or come and talk to our recruiters. Go, don't be shy. Go to every single opportunity you can to step out and meet recruiters face to face. It's invaluable.
Yeah, in fact, now LinkedIn have live events directly with companies.
Amazing.
So if you start following a company, you will see this company events, and you can even add into your agenda, in your Google agenda, because like sometimes you forget, for sure. Well, I'm pre.
Me too.
I need to add everything, imagine. So it's very good to follow a company you admire, you like, or you would like to work for, and then keep checking, the company's posts, what's going on, events, and use LinkedIn. Okay, use LinkedIn to network. And when I say use LinkedIn to network, it's strategically and smartly. How can I say smartly? Strategically and smartly.
Strategic and smart wise.
And smart wise, yes, ways to network.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to network, you have to ask questions, you have to contact people in a smart way.
Yeah.
Don't ask stupid questions.
Yeah, no, 100%.
No.
And understand why you are connecting with people on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Honey, you know, as a recruiter. Oh, yeah. Like sometimes I open my connections or my requests for connections and there are 15 or 20 with no message, with nothing. And I'm like, why?
People
what
just
is the point of this? Yeah. It's empty connections.
Spend. And come on, guys, we live in a chaotic world, online chaotic world.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It is too much.
So much information about everything, and like people now just write, like content to, show off or just for the sake of it. So when you connect with someone, try to add value to the person, to the person you are connecting to.
Yeah,
do you understand?
Absolutely.
So like, why are you connecting? Is there anything you'd like to ask that person? You'd like to share any insights or any good practice of the market you're working for? Do you understand?
Exactly. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Think in a clever way. How can I add value to that person's career, profession, or life?
Yeah.
Then you network. Then your message.
Yeah, totally. And I always say to my clients when I'm doing the strategic LinkedIn, you are better to send 5 truthful, fruitful connections rather than 100 empty connections. If you ask yourself at the end of the day, who did I connect to on LinkedIn, and you don't remember who it was a waste of your time and it was a waste of theirs. You should be able to say, I connected to Tana at Storani Careers. Why? Because I'm thinking of expanding my career development and I reached out to her for this purpose. Okay, that's a quantified connection. If you can't explain why you've connected, you've wasted your time and theirs as well. So strategic.
And also remember, everyone is in LinkedIn either to personal brand, okay, or to recruit, or to sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're either selling a product or service. So you're on LinkedIn selling, you're on LinkedIn recruiting because you're a recruiter or a headhunter, or you're on LinkedIn because you're a professional and you want to show your brand. This is personal branding. So you are a brand. So you are there to show your experience, your skills, and hopefully, if your CV is, your LinkedIn is well written and you are adding value into the platform, to the network, you will start to attract headhunters and recruiters and opportunities to you. Understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
So exactly. So when you connect with others, you can use the power of your brand to share insights and to kind of get to know the market and make that analysis, the market analysis I told you before. So connect with someone that it's is not in your network for sure, in another country, and ask the person, what's the best practices? So I can see, or even like a position you want to become, like your next play.
Yes.
I want to change industry, or I want to change area, and I want to do it, or I want to do that, or I'm thinking of doing that.
Yes.
Contact that person and say, hey, how are you? I came across your profile. You are doing something that I believe I would like to do. Can we have a chat and kind of, so I can understand what you do, if something I would worth a shot investing.
Absolutely.
My time and or like even money, because you need to start studying and getting a certification. That's amazing.
I think this is brilliant. This is one of the pieces of advice. I think that clients are very shy to do this, and I understand why. Definitely the first time you try to network on LinkedIn, you do feel self-aware and there is that fear of rejection. But guys, you need to get over that fear. Some people will respond, some people won't. And if they don't, it's not a big deal. You've tried, you've taken your steps to do so. But I find one of the most approachable sources of potential connection on LinkedIn is interns within your area. Interns are eager to help. They're new, they're fresh as you are. They are just in the sea. If you contact a human resource intern or a recruiting intern and you say, look, I hope you don't mind me reaching out. This is my background. These are my skills. I'm really passionate about financial analysis, or I'm really passionate about UX, user experience. I would love to get a little bit of insight about what your company looks for when recruiting a junior in this field. Interns are an invaluable source of information, and because they're new in the company, they want to go above and beyond to prove that they're doing their job, they're interacting. So I think interns or graduates are a great source of information to reach out to.
That's true. We have a good question here, Shona.
Oh, let's see.
Hey, Tan and Shona, I would like to apply in remote jobs, but I am in Brazil and I don't have European passport. Do you think I can get a job? And we also have Davi here saying, how about awesome remote jobs for Brazilians who want to work for foreign companies? What's the advice for applying?
Remote, it's so funny because it's such a hot topic. And I know, Tana, we've been talking about maybe putting together some content specifically on remote because it is such a hot topic at the moment. There is one thing I will say, guys, is there is no one rule for fits everything. So one of the challenges the companies are facing with remote opportunities at the moment, and it has come up for a few of the larger tech guys, I've heard of it coming up for them, is the lack of insurance to insure their employee on a global scale. So what it means is that you can be remote within the country and you can apply for 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks offsite. But imagine a company is based in Ireland and you're hoping for a remote job from Brazil, the challenge can be the company not having employee insurance to cover you being so far away. So that is one of the challenges. That's not to say those jobs don't exist, because they definitely do. However, it's not just because we are now a remote working force does not mean that there has been an explosion of remote jobs. It's not. Certain industries, yes, but not all. And it is company per company based. What has been your feedback or feeling about that, Tana?
Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm hearing a lot of things from, like different clients. I've been talking to a lot of recruiters as well, friends of mine. And every recruiter, every friend of mine that works in recruitment or works in management positions says that tax is an issue. So like if a company is based in Ireland and the employee is in Brazil, how is this going to be taxed for the company? Where we have like the employee tax,
the pay
in Ireland. Yeah, the pay, exactly. So like how is this going to work? Americans are better in remote jobs. I've heard a lot of American companies actually hiring Brazilians based in Brazil, but and only because they have a branch in Brazil.
Yes, okay. So it's almost like a plug-in.
Yes. So so for example, the company is American. The employee actually responds and works for the American team and American department, and the manager is American, but the salary is through this Brazilian branch.
Yes, okay.
And insurance and tax is through the Brazilian branch. And some of them are paid in dollars. Some of them are paying in real. I know now Europe have they mentioned that if you are within the European Union, taxes will be easier.
Yeah.
And like the remote jobs will be easier. I don't know the updates in regards to that, but I'm pretty sure if you're based in Europe, it's going to be easier to get jobs.
Of course.
Like within the EU. Yeah. Well, I don't know Like what I've seen is like remote jobs but based in the country.
Yeah.
A lot. Job descriptions, all the job descriptions are remote jobs but based in the country, or remote jobs based in the EU.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
A lot. And the thing as well, guys, and this is one thing that we are hearing, because a lot of people have really adapted to working from home, and we understand why. It's a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more, you can control your own hours a little bit better. But one thing that recruiters are going to hate, so just be so mindful, it's not good enough to say, I want the job because it's a remote job. You have got to want the job because you love the industry, you love the company, you love the job. So remote only has to be, how to say it, it only has to be a coincidence that it happens to be a remote job. If you ever say that you've applied for a role simply because it's remote, that will be an immediate no, because everything can change and the job may not always facilitate a remote environment. So just be careful when you're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we will see more and more remote jobs, but yes, you have to be based in the country so far.
Yeah, that's actually Clayson, sorry if I'm not saying that name right, I'm so sorry, but a barrier I faced when applying for remote roles is most of them requires the candidate to be in the country where the customer is. Exactly. Like remote sounds like it's incredibly opening.
You can work from like anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
but actually it's not.
It's
only because of tax, like issues companies are facing now, and also the insurance.
Yeah. There are two challenges that we have come up against. Now, that's not to say that in the next couple of years we won't have adapted, because I do believe the pandemic is going to change a lot about the way we work in HR practices. So eventually it could catch up. But for the moment, it's not quite the dream that people imagine it to be. It's not quite as easy to achieve, but it's still really worth your while, guys, putting on your CV that you are comfortable working remotely, because at least for the moment, a lot of interview processes, training and induction is being carried out on a remote basis. So to demonstrate that you feel comfortable adapting to this new way of working for the moment is nice to say, but just don't hold out on the hope that it's always going to be a remote position. Time will tell that story.
Exactly.
So
thank you.
A very sensitive question earlier, Tana, and I do think it's really important to address it. So this question came into us confidentially. It was basically a lady who explained that she had been out of work for a considerable period of time because she had been suffering with depression. And is this something that she should disclose? Or how does she go about explaining a large gap based on mental health reasons? So this is a really sensitive topic, guys. And before we say this, if you are someone who's suffering with mental health, you should be getting all the help that you deserve to have. However, I personally think it's something that belongs kept confidentially, because whether or not we should live in a world where we're 100% supported. However, there is sometimes internal bias and prejudice against mental health. It should not be the case, but sadly, there is still a stigma. And I would be very careful about disclosing anything that confidential about yourself. What do you feel, Tana?
Yes, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disclose. Look, I'm not saying here that you should lie, okay? But you can just tweak a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
In the sense of, sometimes I add in my CVs when I have like a long period, like a year. What is a long period of gap? It's like from 4 months ongoing. Okay, so if you have like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, okay, this is a gap. I would say into like 1 to 4 months is not really a gap,
you can get over that period.
Yeah, you can get over that period. You can say like, look, I was looking for a job or whatever. But after 4 months, like 5, 6 months, I always put in my CVs that you're in a career break due to it could be it could be a sick leave,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
or looking after a family member, a sick family member.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes, like it's normal get sick,
Of course it
and
is.
you can say that you got some sort of a, well, generally is cancer, okay. So when this happens, when I put this in the CVs of my clients, generally it's cancer, okay. So I person had cancer, or a mom, dad had cancer, and like in this case, you just give up everything, of course, to, to focus 100% in your career, in your health, or your loved one's health.
Your loved one's health.
And if you put in this way in the CV, it's okay, and the recruiter actually won't ask you anything.
Yeah, they'll understand it's confidential.
They will understand that.
Yeah, I would say, period of time dedicated to the care of a loved one, or a period of time focused on a career break and self-development, personal self-development. But I would be slow to give such confidential information, purely because, and the issue is not you, by the way, it's not this person, it's absolutely not their fault. Mental health, we are becoming aware finally in 2021 how important positive mental health is. But the problem is not you, it's potentially the person who's interviewing you, what their internal bias may be. So it's not right that that's the case, but you just don't know what sort of opinions they may form based on that information. So you are not legally obliged to tell them anything about your mental health, anything. So you are entitled to keep that private for you. But I would, when you're in the company a number of years, and if you do need a period of time off because of mental health struggles, that's a different story, because then you're in the company, you're established, and legally they can't do anything. But if it's interview stages, I would be a little bit protective of such private information.
Yeah. So Julia's asking, because unfortunately subjects are still such a taboo, but it still happens, and people don't know what to do and how to tackle that. But we should write this in the CV. Well, we just answered that. So I personally do. I say sick leave, and then it's either like looking after a sick family member, or it's always looking after sick family members. Never you. Understand?
It's so a very good way to put it.
Yeah, because like at the end, you were looking after yourself or someone that was sick, and that's it. It happens.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or you can even say period of time dedicated to travel and cultural development. Anything to fill the time.
In Europe, it's really common, guys. They just get a year off and travel around the world, or traveling in Asia.
Make all their life mistakes. But
so it's normal.
So it is. It can be something that you can do to cover that.
So we have a new question here.
Paolo. So I have the European nationality. However, I've been facing difficulties when applying for a job, for an EU job being located in Brazil. Many employers are thinking it would be hard to relocate due to the pandemic. Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'm telling you my point of view, okay? Because I have like a very particular point of view, okay? Yes, there are restrictions, okay, to relocate, but it's not impossible. Look, I've seen already so many candidates and friends that relocated to Ireland, Germany. Even last month, another friend of mine just relocated to Ireland. And paid, of course, you have to go through Mexico. A client, he started a master's degree in Germany, and he couldn't get the flight Brazil, Germany, so they went to Mexico, spent 2-3 weeks there, and then from Mexico they got to Germany.
Wow.
Berlin, and now they, he's doing the masters, he's studying the masters. So yes, there are restrictions. Yes, you should follow all the government rules and guidelines. Yes, you should wear masks everywhere you go,
Yeah.
and like have like your hand sanitizer beside you. But if you really want to get a job abroad, if you really want, it's possible.
Yeah, it's mindset. Mindset is so much of this
It's
battle, isn't it?
possible, and there are like other ways to do
Mm.
it legally. Okay, legally, and when you're applying, you have to tell the company that you can start at a certain point, or you can be there, or you can, be in that country within 2 months or 1 month.
Yeah, set a realistic deadline and timeline
Yeah,
for them,
set a
can you?
realistic deadline, exactly. So, but explain to the company, look, I researched it, and if I get the job to start in, let's say, July, I will need a month and a half, because I will need to spend 2 weeks in Mexico, and then go to, I don't know, Ireland. But then once I arrive in Ireland, I will need to wait 2 weeks in a hotel,
Mm.
for the quarantine period. But I can already work remote, based in a hotel in Ireland. After that, I will be there. Everything's gonna be okay. You, that's what
Yeah.
I recommend.
Yeah, likewise, manage expectations for sure. Like, be realistic with your timelines for your prospective employers, and with yourself as well. Be realistic when you're setting any sort of a goal in terms of your career. Tangible goals. We have another question that came through to Susie. It's somebody inquiring about their past experience in education as well as accountancy, and they're curious to know what areas within accounts and finance are the key employers within Ireland at the moment. I would think analysis, payroll,
Can you
financial
repeat the
analysis.
question?
So the person comes from a background of accountancy and finance,
Uh-huh.
and they're curious to know what area
Areas in in finance and accounting.
in the
Oopsie.
financial area
Like all
are
areas are
all
are,
areas.
are all areas, like
Yeah,
accounts payable, accounts receivable, collections,
analysis,
financial
tax
analysts,
audits.
yeah, tax. But
Oh,
again, there are some positions that give the sponsorship, and some others not.
yes, true, very true, true.
But all areas are, like hot, like seriously, like finance is one of.
Booming.
But again, guys, you being an administrator or administrative assistant is not financial analyst. Okay, financial analyst in Ireland is completely different from, like what we see here in Brazil, because here in Brazil we do a little bit of everything, like accounts payable, accounts receivable,
Yeah.
payroll, reconciliation. This is not financial analyst in Ireland.
Yeah, financial analysis is far more strategic. And
Yeah.
you'll find that the positions, particularly in finance in Ireland, are a lot more segmented. So you specialize more in one particular area. Like, you will have a payroll or a payroll assistant who only does payroll. They don't touch any other aspect of accountancy. And then you can have your financial analysis that are really about sitting down with your business decision makers, reviewing budgets, reviewing forecast, analyzing opportunities to save, to produce more, to forecast more effectively. So it is a lot more specialized in Ireland. And I have seen that that's been one of the challenges for some of my clients, is they want to work within that role. However, it's not niche enough, the CV. So that's where we have to stretch a little bit.
Exactly. And we have a lot of questions here, actually.
Oh, are they still coming in?
Yeah, oh yeah. So Simon's saying, I just had a negative today. They need to close the job opportunity within 10 business days, and won't have time to wait for the transfer and visa. That's something that happens, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons companies don't go for the visa applications. It's a time consuming, guys. You have to understand that. Unfortunately, so a lot of clients ask me, but Tana, do you think should I actually be in the country to apply? Like, do you think my chances will improve? Yeah, it will increase definitely, for sure. The This is really sad, Simone. Really,
Yeah,
really,
I'm
really
sorry to
sad.
hear that.
I'm really sorry to hear that. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is.
Mm.
And Paulo is saying, I have an European nationality, however, I've been facing criticism.
We've just had
We
that
have
one.
just
Yeah.
had that, yeah? And do you recommend us to change our location and LinkedIn to be able to have some first contact or viewers and then having the actual change to discuss it with the recruiters? So the question is, should we change LinkedIn location to improve our visibility?
So yes, we should. It's a bit bold, but but we like a little bit of boldness. Yes, it definitely has a huge impact. And also in terms of the results that LinkedIn feed you, because you could be saturated with really rubbish results on LinkedIn if your settings and if your locations, etc., are not optimized. So it definitely makes a difference. How do you feel about it, Tana?
Yes, I
Yeah.
actually, it's one of the strategies that
Yeah.
I apply
Yeah.
in my career, in our career
And-
consultancy, because Shona also does,
Yeah.
international consultancy here. So as you know, guys, we are a team. So
Yeah.
it's me, Vivi, Shona, and we have a new member, being trained now. We all do CV writing. We all do international career consultancy. And yes, it's one of the strategies we use in our one-to-ones.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we are dealing here with the software.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is an artificial intelligence software.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you tell the software A, the software will respond A. If you tell
Yeah.
B, the software will respond B. So if you want to start coming up into European recruiters search, you
Mm-hmm.
have to change your LinkedIn to a country in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Full stop. And what do I say if they ask me if I'm in Ireland or if I'm in Germany? Say the truth.
That's where I'm going to be.
Exactly.
When
So
you
I
give me
changed.
the job.
I changed it the location because I know LinkedIn algorithm works like that. So that's it. And recruiters know that, guys.
Yeah, they are very clued into all the little secrets.
They
But it
know the
makes a
little
huge difference.
secret. Yeah, and like sometimes I even ask some clients to get Irish number through
Yes.
through Skype.
You're
You can
very
buy.
sneaky, Tana. You're very sneaky. You have all the tools.
Yeah, we don't say that live or like in public because like some of the strategies are a little bit bold.
Yeah.
And well,
But
but we do our
effective.
best. Yeah, but effective. We do our best to getting you a job abroad, right? So
Exactly. Sometimes you got to be sneaky.
exactly. And yeah, so that's it. We have here another question from Catherine. And what about HR? Is it easy to find a job around the world? Guys, HR is so hard.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Remember, the compliance and rules and regulations and legal is different from country to country. So you could have been a HR director and you will find it challenging to get a HR intern role. Why? Because the processes are worlds apart. So it is a very challenging industry. Even for, I would say, even as an Irish person in Ireland, HR is a difficult industry to break into. It's just a difficult industry.
Exactly. Shona, I don't think I think our time is up.
We've been talking for ages.
For an hour, exactly. Like we can be here talking, like for
the
another
next
hour for the but maybe we should, just starting to close off and answer the last question.
Perfect. Let's take one more question then for the evening, guys. It's clearly we're having a good time. We didn't even notice that hour pass.
Yeah, and so actually, let's answer a question that's going to help a lot of people, which is, okay, Tana, we know there are opportunities abroad. You have to go through, like some challenges and follow strategies to get a job abroad. So is there any steps to be taken to get there?
Well, I think positive mindset, and then reach out to Storani Careers and we will help you. We will help put strategies in place for you. Remember, strategies are different for every single person. That's one of the great things about our services, is we create strategies bespoke to your needs, bespoke to your skills, bespoke to your experience. So while the general advice is the same, when you work with us on a one-to-one basis, we really make sure that we are creating a bespoke or personalized strategy just for you.
Yeah, because as Shona said, each person, each experience is different.
Yeah, totally.
And we can't generalize. We can, like just go live and say, yes, if you do ABC, you're going to get a job abroad. It's not like that. Because, it really depends on your experience. It really depends on your education. And for some people, yes, it's harder.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And some others, it's super easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've been doing that for years, and it's crazy when I see like candidates that come through the process, the consultancy process, and in less than a month they are employed, and it's some incredible. Others are there with us for months and months, and nothing.
Yeah, but a big part of it, guys, is your motivation as well. It's keeping your eye on the prize. It's putting the strategies we give you into place and actively seeking your career as well. It's too easy to give up. So it's really, really something you need to keep motivated. And thank you, Alexander. It's so good to see you joined us for the live. We worked together very recently. I hope you're well. But guys, do keep an eye on our content and keep an eye on our Instagram, because we are going to try to start doing more of these sort of conversations to really cover topics that we find are either areas of concern or areas where clients just are a little bit nervous and they want some more information. So please keep an eye on our social media. There'll be a lot more of these videos coming out.
Yeah, and look, if you think, like we already help you in the social media, in all this free content, you have no idea what we have in the VIP membership area.
Well, that's it.
Seriously, like, so I don't know if you know, or whoever is watching us, all Storani Careers clients have access to a private VIP membership area. It's an area, it's an online area, online platform, where myself, Shona, Vivi, and other experts contribute with videos and amazing content and tips to keep helping you getting your job abroad. Because, as I said, for some clients, it's super easy to get the job. For some others, they have to put much more effort and work on, towards the goal. So we know that, we acknowledge that. And to keep helping you, to keep helping your journey, we do our best, and we continue to bring innovation, continue to add value through content, bringing, like amazing professionals. Now I just, this is new, nobody knows, but I'm gonna have a LinkedIn recruiter talking about loads of topics in the VIP membership area. Amazing. I'm gonna contract. It's a consultant, of course. So we are gonna have an ex-LinkedIn recruiter.
Amazing.
Yes, giving all the best tips, or like the best interview answers, how to use LinkedIn strategic. He's gonna, give a lot of good information, and all in our VIP membership area.
Amazing. That's such a great extra to have in there, because guys, when you know it from the inside, it's how you can best advise them to everybody else. And we've all been in your shoes as well. That's what's really important to know. We're all expats in one way or another. We've all started our career again, so we totally understand where you are and what we can do to help get you out the other side.
Yes, exactly. And thank you very much for everyone here watching us. Thank you, Shona.
Thank you, Tana. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was great, guys. Have a lovely evening. Thanks for giving us 1 hour of your time. We really hope it's been helpful. And feel free to send us your feedback if it's content that you've liked and if it's content that you'd like to see more of.
Okay. Bye.
Good night, guys.
See you in the next video.
Bye.